2.
Scoliosis moves. We walk, we play our sports, we garden, we are constantly on the move. And so it's not okay to just think about scoliosis as a torso change. We have to think about scoliosis as a system-wide change from the top of the head to the bottoms of the feet. So when we take our corrections or we are moving forward in life, we need to definitely pay attention to how that gait is moving with each different scoliosis illustration that we have here, each scoliosis person that we have here. So we're going to have our models walk forward and back, and we'll point out some of the things that catch our eye. And if it doesn't catch your eye, then it's something that probably doesn't need your attention. But here we go. So Patty, you're going to walk forward, and just like we saw with Patty, I'll have you stop right there. Just like we saw with Patty when she was standing still, there is a right hip glide, and the right side of the pelvis does rotate forward. That scenario is still happening when Patty walks. And so when we're thinking about starting to correct the scoliosis, we start with that, but then we have to move with that. So Patty, without any corrections, if you could just flip and come back, walking to the corner again, so we can see that right tendency of the right hip glide and the rotation. Perfect, thank you. And Blake, you're up next. So Blake, just go ahead and walk speedy up to that spot. Good, and stopping there. So Blake is wearing a brace now, not at this moment, clearly, but she is wearing a brace. And when she takes the brace off, her muscles are still set by that brace and by the lack of movement in the brace. So where we saw with Patty a swing of the arms, we see a little less with Blake, and that's entirely okay. That brace is trying to make a correction and is doing a really good job. We do still see a little bit of left hip glide. We still do see a bit of rotation in the hips, just like we saw with Patty. But what we are seeing is not as much rotation in the spine. Go ahead and flip. There it is. Good job. Nice. And thanks so much, Blake. Okay, Rachel, you're up. So scoliosis on the move. Obviously, we don't just stand still and do our scoliosis corrections. It's important from the get-go to understand how someone moves and to start changing the guidelines within that. Can make a big difference for someone who has quite a hip glide to start thinking about even walking with one hand on the hip for just little bits of a time for that awareness. Just that one correction. Thank you all so much. That's great.